Hello there, I'm the Base Manager and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, today we have something very fun to do. We are going to create a second floor to our base of here, a floor for us to park our vehicles at, our long-term storage for vehicles, and we are going to do it underneath the existing floor that we have over here, right? We are going to dig a tunnel downwards and then create an elbow corner and go all the way underneath this platform to create another similar platform to this one. However, and as I said in the previous episode, I would like to create an elevator from the level -1 to the level 0 so that some of our vehicles could be lifted more easily. I mean, we could use the ramp, but where's the fun in that, right? Right, so because I don't know all the measurements in the game, before we started this episode I created a small ruler over here, because, well, we know that the piston expands 10 meters, but blockwise, what are 10 meters? So I figured that I would show you guys this, just in case you guys don't, like me, you don't know all the measurements, right? So the piston head started roughly around here. These measurements are not exactly perfect. If I place this block over here, we can see these measurements are not exactly perfect, but they are close enough, you know, they're close enough. But if we move down here where the piston head is, we can see that it finishes around this block over here, right? So if we place one block on the piston head to simulate the platform that we are going to have, this would be more or less the height that we would have. So we have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 blocks total height, and that's good enough for me, because if we go over here we can see that right now we have a ceiling that is 3 blocks high, and most of our vehicles are free to move through here, so 5 blocks is going to be all that we need to have that elevator lined up perfectly with the floor above it. And yeah, that is the first problem figured out, the measurements. Now I will have to dig down a little bit, that is going to take us some time, but after we dig down our tunnel, I will then proceed to lay down a bunch of blocks that I will not want to weld by hand. So we are going to also create a welding vehicle in this episode that is going to help us weld the floor, roofs, whatever. It's going to have a quasi crane attached to it. I already have an idea of what I want to build, but first we must clear the space before we can even think about it. So with that said, come on. Oh wait, before the start of the episode I want to mine a little bit. Let me just see if the storage is already empty. It is. These refineries are just that efficient at processing resources. You know, I like to mine a little bit of resources before we start the episode, so that I don't have to make as many pauses. Right? Right. So, how are we going to start this descent? Well, this is going to be one of those cases of trial and error, right? But I'm going to try and align this rover somewhat nicely with the existing ramp already, and we are going to lower our drills all the way down. I think this is good enough. Right? We are going to put our drills all the way down. The objective is for us to remove terrain underneath the wheels so that we tilt downwards. There we go. See, we are now tilted. Because we are now tilted, as we mine forward, right, without, if we point... I'm sorry guys, let me restart that phrase. If we point our drills upwards, and as we know, the degrees that we have, the 35 degrees, will enable us to drill forward without dropping any more height. But if we are already a little bit dropped, if we already dropped the front wheels, we are then going to simply mine all the way down without increasing the angle of descent any further. Or at least that's the theory that I am subscribing to. Now, let's see if that is going to work. So I'm just going to wait a little bit more, and then I'm going to start. There we go. We are going to start doing this. And if it doesn't work, then I will just adjust my strategy. Okay, so our initial ramp has already been dug out. It didn't take too long. Wait, don't crash against that pole. That pole is expensive. and necessary for our operations over here. Now, it's perfectly fine if we mine out a little bit too much. Everything, all of this terrain is going to be covered with ramps. No way I'm going to there bring some of our heavier vehicles through regular voxel. Things might explode, and we don't want that. So the way we are going to do this, we are going to need some measurements, of course. So let me see, maybe where... So this is the... I don't want to put it over here. This is the beginning height, right? No, not this one. This is +1 height. I want it to be a little bit further down than this. So... Oh, hello. Wrong place. So I'm going to use the blocks themselves as rulers, because we don't want to descend further than, let's say, 5 blocks. Maybe I already did too much, because we have to divide the height that we go down, right? If we have 5 blocks total of height that we can go down, we don't want to go down more than 2.5 blocks, but because half blocks are not a thing in this game, we'll have to go 3 and then 2. But once again, if we go down all the 5, it's okay, we can cover the holes with plates, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so this block over here represents platform height. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4. I already went down a little bit too much, and -5. So technically this is going to be the height of the platform that we are going to build below us. Something like this, right? Yeah, I think this is perfectly fine. So over here, somewhere over here, we have to turn to the left, and then start digging down a little bit more. No, not digging down, digging straight, which is going to be nearly impossible. So I'm going to create a block platform to help me out over here. A place where we can turn our vehicle around and hopefully not trap myself. That would not be pleasant. Well, one thing I can tell you, this is going to be sketchy. Because usually vehicles, they don't like unwelded terrains too much. They get, for lack of better word, they get a rubber band around them. Your inputs, they kind of go back and forth. As we can see, I just pressed forward, but my vehicle is going backwards for some reason. Those are just the physics of unwelded blocks. But for what we want to achieve, unwelded blocks are going to work just fine. Okay, so I made a ginormous hole on the floor over here. Not exactly a problem. We are going to cover this with blocks anyway, so not exactly the biggest problem in the world, but this gives us an opportunity for us to check on our progress. As we can see, we are not exactly at the desired height. This of digging up voxel and then trying to figure out the correct height is a tad bit problematic. Not exactly ideal, but yeah, we can see that our measurements were probably not exactly correct, as we are 4 blocks down and not exactly 5 blocks down. So that means we have to go down a little bit more. But once again, I state it again, if we dig down too much, that's not a problem, because it can be fixed by placing blocks, which we are going to do anyway. Oh, I did not park the vehicle when I lifted, but it's not going to be a problem anyway, because, well, we are going to cover this path all the way to the bottom with plates, or in this case with blocks, so any mistakes will be covered up. Okay, my friends, so if I'm making my math correctly, which is doubtful, it is me doing the math after all, this is the correct height that we want, right? 5 blocks between the upper platform and the lower platform. There we go, 5 full blocks. That should be the correct height. So if I just drill myself not a bunch of holes, but I just keep going forward this way and then start hollowing down this entire area, we should be roughly at the place that I kind of want to be. So yeah. Now guys, this first part I'm going to tell you right now. Usually I know I've been making a few maybe a few too many time lapses right? But they are enjoyable to make, and I feel like you guys are enjoying them. But this initial part, I am definitely not going to time-lapse, given the amount of camera movement and stuff that I have to make around these tight corners. It's not good for visualization. Let's just say when there is a lot of camera movement, you guys might get a little bit nauseated. Usually I try to be careful when I'm doing these kinds of things, not to move my camera too much, but in this particular area it's almost impossible, so these initial parts we are going to have to skip, and maybe even hollowing down this entire level might also need to be skipped. I don't know. We'll see how well the camera movement is. And by the way, since I'm already speaking about this, I just kind of want to ask you directly, do you feel like I'm making too many time lapses, or maybe not enough time lapses? You guys let me know. But now, another thing that we can do, since we are already here, is take care of the ramp. We are going to use these half-slope blocks to create the ramp that we are going to use. So I can just start laying them down to help us out moving the vehicles around. The miner doesn't mind too much about the voxel, but still, you know, it is good to have an idea on where things are going to go, right? So that if there is any corrections that need to be made, now would be the time. Okay, so the drill's angle of attack was actually perfect. Just look at this. No voxel showing other than this little bit over here, but we can clean that out later. The good thing about these drills is that they don't damage blocks when you are right-clicking, but if I come over here with my drill, by the way, be careful, headphone people, if you go and try to drill with your end drill, you're going to explode stuff. So yeah, if you want to clear voxel, use the mining rig and don't use your personal miner. Alright, my friends, so this is a lot of blocks that we just put down. Over 250 blocks are in this area alone. That's like a bunch of plates. That's a lot of plates, let's just say it. I'm glad I did that mining, but I'm pretty sure that one load of iron is not going to be enough. But in any case, now we do have a ramp. As we can see now, it's completely paved, although it's not welded, but it is paved. All the way from over here to downstairs. So now the time has finally come for me to go over here and start whoa, 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 take it easy, bro. What the hell is going on? Oh, that's what is going on. Now it is time for me to start devastating this entire area. Oh, here comes the thunder again. Oh boy, oh boy. Now, our miner over here is almost out of juice, guys. It's almost out of juice. I have to go back and recharge it a little bit. As you can see, we have like 1 hour of juice left. And not ideal. If I activate my drills, it's even less. So, yeah, time to recharge before we are completely dead in the water. But after I park this thing upstairs, I will show you guys the progress. Alright, there we go, batteries on recharge, 14 minutes before everything is ready to go again. We don't need it to be fully recharged, so yep. Now, we already have plenty of space over here. This cavern is getting pretty darn huge, let me tell you right now. I don't even know how many blocks this thing is going to take, but well, given that we are mining at a slight angle going down, that is perfectly fine. It's better than the opposite, mining going upwards, because going down we can cover, going upwards we have to take care of it later, right? But yeah, now I'm going to lay down a bunch of blocks, which means that once we have all the space that I kind of want, we can point the drills all the way up so that they are as close to the ceiling as possible. So that we can devastate the ceiling a little bit more and gain ourselves a little bit more height in this second level over here. But yeah, after I think this is good enough for now, good enough on space, that is, at least when it comes to building the elevator and some parking areas and whatnot. So I think that for now I'm going to leave the rest of the mining for future me, and now I'm just going to put down some blocks, and next we can focus on that welding vehicle that we were talking about earlier. Holy Jesus, there are blocks as far as the eye can see. Look at all of these blocks. One thing I can tell you guys, there are over 1,000 blocks just on this contraption. Just this small ramp and floor has 1,000 blocks on it. That's a lot. That's a lot of welding, if you know what I mean. So that's why we are going to move now into our next objective. Let's build a welder. We are going to take some inspiration from our monstrosity over here. We are going to do something very similar, but we are going to drop down the containers a little bit, and we are going to put a crane on top of one of the containers using the conveyors as a arm. And then on the top we are going to put a hinge and a rotor, and then we are going to put a couple of welders, and that way we have an unextendable crane, right? It will not extend, it was just going to rotate, go up and to the sides, and this is going to give us plenty of flexibility for us to weld floors as well as roofs and walls, if we decide to go for walls. Yeah, that is going to require us to find a good spot to start building. Just give me a moment. Now, against my better judgment, I'm going to start building over here, and if you're asking why, it's because I noticed that this area is extremely thundery. Yeah, you probably could see that. There is a lot of thunderstorms in this area. This is probably like... it's not like an event that happens every so often throughout the world. This is probably regional, because last time I never even saw a thunderstorm, so... small router head, and then please lock it in place. Thank you. So I think this is going to be a problem that we'll have to deal with constantly. Now I'm even more glad that I decided to bury my base underneath the mountain, because that way we cannot be affected by it. So, first things first, time for me to start building a chassis. So just give me a moment, please. So the idea for this chassis is quite simple. We are going to try and quote-unquote bury the containers in the middle of the vehicle, right? So we are going to want to have a large port to the side, or in this case pointing the center, and one large port pointing upwards. Let me just double check. Yep. So if we go like this, we should have a large port connection, meaning that the plates can travel between containers, and we should have a large port pointing upwards where we are going to attach our hinge and our cranes. And once again, it needs to be a large grid, or in this case a large port, because otherwise the plates are not going to travel, right? We learned that last episode. There we go, we have our chassis complete, 4 containers and a metal structure all around it, where the containers are supported, right? Right, so now the wheels. We probably are going to use 5x5 because of the ground clearance that they are going to allow us. And we should probably also use 3 wheels, just to keep these... 3 wheels? Yeah, 3 wheels. 3 wheels, sure. Yeah, I don't know if 3 wheels are going to work. Let me see. What is... Are they... the attachment is on 1 block or 2 blocks? Let me see. This is a 3x3. 1x1. No, it's 2 blocks. It's going to work. Okay. So let's do 3 wheels. Okie dokie, they have enough space around them, so that's cool. They shouldn't be interfering with each other. So I figured that now it's a good place to start welding, because we are going to build stuff on top of this, and we might lose access to some blocks, and I don't want to have unwelded blocks in a vehicle. In your base it's okay to have some unwelded blocks here and there, but in a vehicle not really, because these have so little health points that you don't want to risk it. So this... yeah, I'm going to weld this, and then we are going to take care of the crane subsystem. I'm going to be honest with you guys, sometimes I feel like I'm playing StarCraft, but instead of hearing not enough minerals, I hear not enough iron. God damn it, I barely did any welding before I needed to go grab me some more iron. But hopefully now I will have enough resources to at least build this thing. Okay, my friends, the body of the caterpillar is built. And I say caterpillar simply because it was the first thing that this thing reminded me. That doesn't need to be its name, right? Right. No. In any case, the way that we are going to operate this, how the hell do I want to do this? Probably I should start the the welder crane right here to have as much extension as possible, so that when we tilt it upwards, we can have as much range as possible, right? Right. So let's go into our rotor section, and we want an advanced rotor because advanced rotors have conveyor ports, right? And then we want to keep the large thingy, the large conveyor port right there. Yep. Oh, but before I do anything, remember, always lock your rotors so that you don't accidentally bump into anything and destroy your entire build. Please, jetpack, thank you. Build vision, go away. Now, in order to center this, we want it to be right there. Perfect. And now this thing is going to be pointing downwards. So what I'm going to do, to help us out, just go right here. And I don't have interior plates, god damn it. Okay, so as I was going to say, I'm going to put one of these right here, and then I'm going to bump into it to turn the crane the other way. Oops. There you go. Now it is pointing the right way. So we are going to extend it, like so. There we go. Now let me think. Maybe one more. One more. Come on. No, that's wrong. Game, please do not allow me to do these kinds of things. Attach only to the proper place. I would ask you that. And as I said, we are now going to put another advanced rotor over here to give it rotation, right? Because the drills are going to be pointing downwards, at least for now. Right, then we put another hinge right here. There we go. I'm going to put another one of these just to point it downwards. I don't... Bro, thank you. Oh, fuck, I forgot to lock the rotor. Great, now the things are not moving. Thank you. Now, let's go back into the welders. We know that the welder has a large port on it, right? Right, but unlike the drill, it has no side ports. So, if we want to have a welder... can't find the right word. If we want to have a welder line over here, right, we need to have something to attach all of these welders to, right? So let's go right here, not a large thingy. We have to find a good position for this, and a good position would be with me flying, of course, obviously, would be with those small ports pointing to the sides that we are not going to use. Jesus, like this. This would be ideal, because this thing only has two sides with small ports. The other sides, as we can see, are large ports. So if we go like this, bam, another one like this, and another one like this. For now, I'm thinking 3 welders or 5 welders. 5 welders to cover the blocks that the wheels are going to drive on. 5 welders. And now we attach, say, 5 welders to this thing. If I can find them. That is. There we go. Now, will this thing be too low to the ground? Maybe. Few modifications are required. Even if we lower the wheel by 1 block, we can see that the welder is going to be pretty much dragging on the floor, and we don't want that. I mean, we would have a little bit of clearance, and I mean, I can always put the welder a few degrees pointing upwards. That would save it, but at the same time I don't want to. I want to have these drills pointing perfectly down, so I think maybe the idea of burying these crates, well, not crates, containers, might not exactly pan out the way I was thinking it was going to pan out. Oh well, as per usual, trial and error is required. Alright, my friends, so I dropped down all the wheels and welded the crane itself. There was no point in having it unwelded. This is how it's going to be. So now, next in line, I grinded a few blocks over there because we are going to need that space. We are going to start thinking about two additional things that we are going to need. Power and connection to the outside logistics grid, right? That's why I deleted those blocks. Given that we have this massive weight hanging in front of the wheels, we should, in order to balance this, put some weight on the back of this, right? So the way I'm thinking about doing this, I don't know if this is... Oh, I don't have the interior plates, of course I don't. But as I was saying, I always forget the interior plates, that they are also part of the equation. Oh well. No problem. So the way I was actually thinking about doing this would be a slightly different. We could... I don't know if that would be a lot of effort, but I could try to bury one of this, one connector on the floor, and we could try and drive on top of it and connect it that way. But that would be the ideal situation, but for now that is not going to happen. Okay, so what I was saying was like putting over here, because it is approximately the same height as this, and because we dropped down the wheel so much, we now have all the ground clearance to do this. But for now, because that is going to be a lot of effort, I'm probably just going to do this, you know, I'm going to treat it as a regular vehicle and attach it, you know, to the side of a connector like we have our mining vehicle and stuff like that. No, the game is lagging a little bit, I'm not enjoying it. It's probably all of these blocks around here, but in any case, now I must find the cockpit amongst all of this garbage. Right, so you know, it's not it could be over here, right? We could technically put the cockpit over here, it would be connected to the grid and everything, but we don't need to connect the cockpit to the grid, like there is no point. So we can put it to the side like we have our mining rig. So let's take care of that, shall we? As per usual, we're just going to do something like this, right? I think that's tall enough for the cockpit to connect. Yes, it is. What? Oh. I pressed the dampeners instead of the thingy. And yeah, I like that position a lot. It should not interfere with the crane too much. I mean, we should never go more than 90 degrees to any side. So I don't think it's going to be a major issue. And by the looks of it, it could even clear the cabin. So even if we want to put the crane all the way to the back, it should pass absolutely no problem. Okay, fine by me. I don't see any issues whatsoever. Now on the other side, the same way that we did our mining vehicle, that's not the rotation that I want, this is a rotation that I want. I'm going to put one battery over here, and I'm going to put two batteries on the other side. That should give us more than enough battery power, and should also balance the weight on this vehicle. Alright, my friends, so most of the stuff is welded. I mean, all of the stuff. We have 3 batteries and cockpit. This should be somewhat leveled on the weight distribution. Now, we are still in need of a few more things. We need a gyroscope, obviously, and we need some cameras to help us move around the place, because I'm pretty sure that in there, third view camera might not always be available to us. Me thingies. And of course, lights. Lots and lots of lights. Yeah, so let me think. When it comes to the light front, I would say one light right there. Please, same rotation. One light right there, and one light right there. 3 lights pointing forward. Should give us enough lighting. Then we are going to put 2 lights on the sides, like so. Let me see. Yep. There. One right there, and another one right here. And of course, we need the lights backwards. Now, backwards, I will add the lights later because I still want to add a few more blocks around this place to fill this area a little bit more, just to make it look better. And then I will add the lighting. But gyro, also very important. Not a drill. The gyro, please. Thank you very much. Now, I like to keep my gyros centered with the vehicle. Now, I don't really think that is ultra necessary. I think they will act upon the vehicle regardless of their location, but still, you know, just to make sure that... did you put it in the right rotation? I think so. And yeah, cameras. Once again, I will add a camera over here after I add a few blocks to the back. So let me just do that pretty quickly so we can test this baby out. Well, my friends, I think the vehicle is complete. It's not the best looking vehicle ever, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I actually like the look over here. This part makes it look like the truck's rear axle, and I kind of like the way it looks. But in any case, it has battery, it has a gyro. I mean, I think we are ready to test it out. But first, let me just remove the miner vehicle from the attachment over there, because we need a place to attach that vehicle to. And also, by the way, since I am already here, let me put a bajillion plates into production. Okay, so I probably am not going to have enough iron to produce all the plates that we are going to need to weld the entire thing, but right now we just want to test it out, so a few plates will be enough. So wish me luck. Let me save the game first. You never know, right? There we go. Now welding this part is going to be interesting. There we go. Cool. Whoa, take it easy, bruh. Take it easy. So we might need to raise the suspension a little bit, but other than that, I think we have plenty of room clearance. I'm satisfied with that. So, as per usual, guys, let's go through let's make the groups first, right? I already renamed the thingies over here, so the batteries. Welding vehicle battery group. These don't need to be grouped up, these need to be grouped up, so wheels for the welding vehicle. And anything else? Oh yeah, the welders, of course. Welding vehicle, welders. Those are the groups that we are going to need, at least for now, that I can think of. So in the first part over here we are going to have the vehicle controls. So let's go into groups, wheels. Let's go for the wheels first. Okay, so we have suspension strength and wheel power over there, right? We want to have the batteries, toggle recharge on off as per usual. Recharge on off. Then we want to have the connectors, right? Switch lock on off. And then we want to have the camera. View, toggle block on off. No, I want view. And then we can even put the gyroscope over here because I have a slot to toggle block on off. Perfect. Now, like I said, second group. So, these things are divided by base and head. As we can see, base and head, right? So first we are going to have the base controls. So what do we want? We cannot set left and right, so we have to do what? Let me think about this for a moment. Alright, so the way I figured that we are going to do this is we have in the number 1 toolbar the vehicle controls. On the second toolbar we have the controls for the base of the crane. We have toggle block on off, toggle rotor on off, and we have reverse. And then we have the same for the hinges, on off, hinge on off and reverse. And then on the toolbar 3 we are going to have the very similar look, but this is for the head. Once again, rotor on off, hinge rotor and reverse, not hinge, I mean rotor reverse, and hinge on off, hinge lock on off, and reverse for the hinge. This should allow us a relatively precise control of the crane. Obviously I will have to be extremely careful while doing this in enclosed spaces so that I don't destroy everything. But other than that, the vehicle was not parked. That is not good. But other than that, the vehicle is perfectly functional, and I think that we are ready to go. So for now I'm just going to leave the crane as is, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pain in the butt to reset it to the original position, and I'm just going to try and lock myself into our logistics grid so I can start taking the plates into the storage. I mean, this thing is not terrible to control, but clearly it doesn't enjoy going downhill too much. Perfect. We have connection. There we go. This thing, well, first things that I noticed, this thing going downhill in reverse, not exactly ideal. These welders will be scrapping the entire way down, so we might need to raise the crane just slightly so that we can have some clearance for the welders. But other than that, pretty cool so far. Now, last time I tried to do this, but we were unable, but this time we have complete connection on all of our thingies, all of our logistics. So if we go into inventory, press show connected inventory, show only inventory of current ship, show connected inventory, and let's say show all types, right? And here we want plates, and so we are going... Oh yeah, the industrial cockpit, probably not going to happen. So let's go like this, let's put all of the plates that we have on our storage container right there. Come on, give me all of them. This is barely nothing, by the way. Let's... yeah, it can all stay in one place. Doesn't really matter too much for the purposes of this demonstration, right? Although I think they probably went all to the front because of the way the vehicle is tilting, but doesn't matter. We are going to weld this row over here of blocks. This is going to be our test run for this thing. Okay, so let's start the process of disconnecting this vehicle and attempting to go over there. I'm not going to turn on the welders just yet. This is somewhat of a Austin Power moment right here, right? We have to go back and forth very slowly. Otherwise, oh shit, I'm going to crash. No, we don't want to crash. This vehicle is quite large, but it is large on purpose. Big, always better, right? Right. Well, not always, but... Oh no! Jesus, I really have my depth perception kinda screwed up. On this thing I'm used to the other vehicle not being as girthy. But we are almost there. Okay, so let's go over here, select a welder block. Hello? Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Group, welders, toggle block on off. This is what I meant to do. Now we come over here. And we go slowly backwards until all the things are welded. Come on, give me a better perception of this. For some reason one of the rows is not being welded, which means we probably need more welders on this thing. Yeah, we probably need more welders on this thing, now that I look at it. Alright, my friends, so the new welders have been added. I see them in action. Are they turned on? I think so. I think so. Or are we out of plates already? Are we already out of plates? Ah, no, 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 no. They were just having a moment. But yeah, so now, as long as I am relatively careful and I don't smack the welders too much against the wall, we just drive through things and things get built. Great! Let's give it a try on our ramp. I don't know how this is going to act. I'm kind of stuck against the wall a little bit now. Once again, another Austin Power moment. Okay, so I increased a little bit of the lighting effects that we get from this. So let's try to go a little bit downhill and see what do we get from this. I probably will have to do several passes, like a printer, you see. There we go. Ouch. There was some... Come on, camera. I know it's difficult for you, camera, but trust me, it is as difficult for you as it is for me. So, because we have our welders pretty much smacking against the floor, what we should do over here, this is the control number 2, so it is for the base of the welder, of the crane welder, I mean. What we are going to do, we are going to... first we need to go over here. Control panel, let's find that hinge for the base. Let's give it a tad bit of speed. Let's say 0.2. We don't want it to be too much. And now we are going to toggle off the thingy. Okay, here we go. Is it going up? I don't feel like it is. Maybe it needs a little bit more strength. Uh-huh. All it needed was a little bit more torque, and I'm even going to give it a little bit of braking torque just to help out with the weight. There we go. So now we have control of this once again. See? That's good enough. I think we can move now without smacking the welders against the floor. And oh, stop! That's the wrong path to go. I want to go through here. Okay. I mean, some blocks might need to be welded by hand, but I think that mostly this thing is going to work as long as I understand how to control it, of course. Because there is also that small problem of me still needing to learn how to control this vehicle properly. So yeah, I'm going to start printing this thing. There we go, see, much better now. Yeah, definitely, this was one of the better ideas that I had lately. The monstrosity was pretty good as well, but yeah, this thing is just like welding everything so well. Like, I mean, I might have to weld 1 or 2 blocks that might remain that I missed, like those 3 blocks over there. But I'd rather weld 3 missing blocks than to weld over 1,000 ones by hand. Yeah, that is definitely not going to happen anytime soon. Oh, I'm out. I'm out of plates. Okay, that was not bad. That was not bad for the trial. Let's see, let me just push this a little bit forward, just so it's sit in a flat surface. It's still welding just the 1 plate that this thing has, okay? It's not adding anything else. But yeah, I welded this, like, the ramp was a little bit difficult over here, especially, because the crane is constantly going up and down because of the position of the wheels, but other than this little bit, it welded everything really quickly, and I'm pretty satisfied. So, what is going to happen now is that I am going to grab the monstrosity over here, and I'm going to go for several loads of iron because, well, let's think about it this way. Each one of these blocks over here costs 25 plates. Each plate costs 7 iron ingots. I have over 1,000 blocks to weld. Well, maybe not 1,000 now that I welded a few of them, but still, I'm going to need at least 25,000 plates. So you know what that means? That means a lot. I'm not going to do the math. It's like my brain cannot handle it. But yeah, that's a lot of iron, okay? So yeah, I'm going to do a couple of loads of iron. If you excuse me, I have a meeting with a iron ore deposit. Are you empty? Yes, you are. So let's go, my beauty. Well, let's just say that I have yet to accustom myself to the length of this vehicle. I have smacked a few parts here and there, not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, I have smacked a few parts here and there, but overall, I don't think I have done too much damage. Just, you know, a few motors here and there. Come on, you're gonna tell me that you don't have enough materials for a motor? Are you joking, game? Please. Thank you. Alright, my friends, so I created over here a connection point for us to dock this thing. I think it's pretty good. There we go. Ready to go. Fan-freaking-tastic. We now have a place Whoa. That is not exactly a line, but okay. We have a place specifically to park. Holy Jesus, this thing is big. Like, I never noticed how big this thing was until now, because yeah, when you put side by side with it, well, they're not side by side, but they are close enough to the point that I can actually compare them. And yeah, this thing maybe is a little bit too large. Maybe. But who cares? Not me, of course. Otherwise I would do something about it. But because I'm not going to do anything about it, probably means I don't care. Now, another thing that I came to the conclusion... You're joking? No. Huh. For some reason, the first plate must be added by hand. Afterwards, apparently, I can just come over here and do this. Clearly. And yeah, guys, this might yet not be enough plates to weld all of the blocks that we have. But one thing that I notice... Is that it? Okay. One thing that I notice while traveling, obviously, is that the welders are too close to the ground, and so they are constantly smacking against everything. I was raising the crane itself to give us a little bit of room for maneuvers, but that's silly. That's really freaking silly. When I can just come over here and do this. Are you going? I don't think you're going. But the objective here is to pretty much point the welders forward. So if I go into the hinge of the head, I must give it a tad bit more power, I'm going to assume. Now I'm going to reverse it, and this thing has no velocity on me. There we go. Reverse it now? No. There we go. It is starting to point upwards. Let's give it a tad bit more strength and a little bit of braking torque. Because, yeah, that is going to clear the floor. It's going to make the vehicle a tad bit more on the long side. But overall, I probably have too many plates in one of these thingies. Yeah. Alright, so with this pointing forward, we now have all the room that we could possibly want to maneuver around this place. I just need to be careful not to... Holy shit, this is going a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much. Stop. Stop, 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 okay? Stop. I got out of the vehicle because I thought I had... I'm still a little bit confused on the commands, okay? Just be patient with me. In any case, I'm going to start moving downwards a little bit now, and then once we are on the place that we want to weld, then we are going to put the welders down and start the welding operations. Okay, so all of the plates are now gone. Jesus, that was super quick. Once I start, like, I don't even know. Let me see, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes that have elapsed since I start welding, and approximately 6,000 plates are now used. So cool, we are almost done in either way. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty sure that once again, if I welded everything by hand, it would be done maybe a little bit sooner. Just maybe, because it took us a little bit of time to do this, but the time that we are going to save in future projects, and well, every time that I decide to expand this floor, because we need more floor for more cars and stuff like that, this thing is going to be here, ready to weld it, so pretty happy with the results. Yeah, just double check, everything is empty, everything is empty. So let's bring this beast upstairs and, well, go again for some mining, then some more plate production, and then we'll bring it down here once again. And there we go, this thing is now locked into our grid, so we can fill it up with more plates whenever we feel like it. I already turned this thing off, so I shouldn't kill myself by passing through here. And yeah, guys, I think this is going to be it for today's episode. I am quite happy with our vehicle over here. It might be unwieldy to drive around some of the places that we have built, but that's also mostly due to the fact that I'm still not used to the way this thing drives. As I get more experience with it, I eventually will screw up a lot less. But yeah, this thing actually allowed us to weld a bunch of stuff. There is, whoa, a few blocks missing here and there that we can touch up by hand, but the bulk of the welding was done in an extremely quick fashion. I am extremely pleased with it. So yeah, next episode we are going to continue doing this. Maybe we can start work on the elevator platform. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what the future has in stock for us. But with all of that said, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!